Last year we spoke about how Eretz Yisrael is something which is needed for Klal Yisrael to come back to the Baruch Shalom fully. From Evaseinu Akdoshim, how the process of Klal Yisrael returning to Israel is part of the process of turning to the Baruch Shalom. Today we'd like to continue that in how what we call Medinas Eretz Israel, the country of Eretz Israel, which was founded Tafshin Ches, how that is also part of the process of building Klal Yisrael. The whole idea of Medinas Israel obviously is not. It's all about it is Klal Yisrael living in a healthy way in Eretz Yisrael, because you can't live without rules and regulations and a system. But there's a lot to talk about this. How Gedolei Yisrael saw and understood why Hashem made a country being mevusas with the in Eretz Yisrael for Klal Yisrael, which on the heads are a bunch of Rishon people who want to be Iker Das Torah, which is that come in a lot to be Marachin. In other places I was more Marach, but Hashem, we'll get to there one day. What I want to talk about today is more about how this process of Klal Yisrael having a country in Israel was also part of the process of Klal Yisrael coming back to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Just to say a couple of short memories from Gedolei Yisrael, well, even Kali about Eretz Yisrael. We'll start off with that, and then we'll get to our Mechuvan. In the base Yisrael, the Ger Rebbe writes in a letter from the Imre Emes that when about the topic of the foundation of the state of Israel, that he mentioned what famous Chazal in Yerushalmi, Kachi Geulus Yisrael. This is how the Geula from Israel comes, little by little, kima, like the sun coming up. That's what the Imre Emes expressed himself about the foundation of the state. The Belzer Rebbe of Aaron Kayach is quoted by his brother, the Bilgai Rav, in a letter saying, my brother, the Rebbe told me, the answer in these words. Fahr der Hand ist es fahr jeden a Stück Geschirr, wie denn wollten jeden sich gehabt wie ein Zitin. Basically what he's saying is that the Belzer Rebbe Zechariah Tzadik Kodesh Levracha, he expressed himself that Klal Yisrael after the war needed the foundation of the state in order to give the Yidden who just went through all these horrors a safe place to live. Ibn Shem Zalman Auerbach is quoted as numerous times saying that we have to thank Hashem for this, that the gates of Eretz Yisrael is open for all the Yidden to return, and especially after the Second World War, that the Yidden didn't have any other place to go. And now we have our own place that we could go, and no one could keep us back. On Zal Meltzer is quoted by his Talmud, Reuven Katz, the Rav of Petach Tikva, as saying that he was extremely excited and appreciative of the foundation of the state because he understood that such a tremendous thing cannot be happen without the Yad Hashem, the Ritzain Hashem, and this is Hashgacha Miyuchedes for huge stuff which are happening in Klal Yisrael. So those are just a few quotes. There's a tremendous amount of more from our Gedolim that expressed themselves in that. I'll just mention another two. The Brisker Rav wrote down a Sefer Mechatzasam. He is the Mechaber over there. He encouraged. He told him how to explain the idea of the foundation of a state up in the Torah. He says it definitely didn't happen for those that founded it. Those Rishon, those Fraya people. And also, it's also to say that it's a Ma'aseh Satan. He sent him to speak and be darshan all the Bata Midrashim, all the yeshivas, that the Shkafas Torah is that all these nisim and everything which just transpired was in the schus of the Loim the Torah and the Shomer mitzvahs, in order they should be keep on the torch of Torah should be able to go on for the future generations. They needed a place to learn and do Torah mitzvahs. That was the Yeshua, and that was all the nisim that happened in order to be able to found the state should be founded, should be a safe haven for the Elach Yidden. Reb Shach writes in a letter, Mechtov Memorim, Chelik Aleph, page Nun Ches, says, "Mevade yesh kan nes godel hanir le'nayin la'atzala Yeshu l'chelik godel me'amenu." It's clear, it's pashut that there's a nes godel that we can recognize that Hashem did to give Yeshua for Klal Yisrael. But it's in our hands that Hashem turned to the sign. Means let's not spoil it. It's in our hands how to make it a bracha or chas v'shel fakir. Hashem did it for us for Yeshua. So these are just a small amount of quotes from the Gedolei Yisrael in their own words, and the list goes on. We mark in other places. Now we will continue on. Our mechuban over here is to see how it brought Klal Yisrael closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom. In order to understand this, we have to be magdim what the Panavajarav gave a drasha in the Tekudus Yisrael in the year Tafshin Dalud, while the Second World War was raging. A major drasha, very major. If I want to see it inside, just will bring out what we want to point from there for now. It says in the Yeremiah Perek Lamed, these are the words that Hashem spoke to the Yidden and to Klal Yisrael and to Yehuda. This is what Hashem said. Kol charada shamanu. We heard a voice of pachad, of charada, pachad ve'in shalom. And Sha'alinu ask if you see in Yolid Zacha, Madiri isi kol geva yadav al chalatzav ki ledu and hepcha kol palavi leyakin. Expressing ways of the gracious tzara, the Klal Yisrael, the faces turn green, and tzara shein kamoyu, that like a woman is b'shas giving birth. Hoi ki godel hayoyim ahim ein kamoyu. Hoi means like wow, like krechts. Ki godel hayoyim ahi, that day is huge, big. Ve'ein kamoyu, there's nothing like that. Ve'eis tzara hili Yaakov. And it's the 8th tzara for the Yidden. From there we will have a Yeshua. It will be of that day, Hashem, it says, I will break the oil, the yoke upon your shoulders. And those, I guess, means those ropes that are tied to you, I will rip. You would not work for Zarim, people that are other nations. And you will do the avodah of Hashem, as David Malka and David the King, which I'll make for you. So the Panavajarav, on these words, in the Midrash Tekudus Yisrael, while the Second World War was raging, he says, we have to understand what's going on over here in this Pesukim. With one wondrous, huge day, like there is no other day like this. The question is, What is so big with the day? The pasuk goes on to say is Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov. A big day means it's great, it's huge. How could a time which is Torah says, the Navi says, Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov, be called such a wondrous great day? Do we not such a great day? There will never be such a great day. And if it's so great, why do we say Hoy Ki Gadol Yom? And Zok the Panam that this day that Navi is talking about will be so great. Why? Only because it's Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov. Actually, the Zohar Kodesh doesn't bring it down. It says on these psukim that it's good that it will be Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov because L'fum Tzara Agra. That's what the Zohar says. L'fum Tzara Agra, and based on how big the Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov, that's how it's going to be Imena Yivashaya. Yeah, that's what the Zohar Kodesh says. That's what the Panjara says. That you know why is Hoy Ki Gadol Yom. You know why the day is going to be so huge, so great. That is because is such a Eis Tzara. From there, the Yeshua is going to come. Zok the Panjara that many Yisrael went through many times in Golus. From when we were Zoiche, times that we Zoiche, times that we weren't Zoiche, times that we had basically times when we were in Gullus, ups and downs. And he said we went through huge Gullus. Now we have come to the time which all the Goyim are ready to destroy us. Meaning to say, the Nazis in Machshemam want to destroy us and all the nations are keeping quiet. Some of them are being mishtatev with them and some of them are keeping quiet. No one's doing anything. This time it has come that nations of the world have come together to destroy us. Some in Maisa and some by just keeping quiet. This is Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov. There was never such a Eis Tzara in the whole huge Golus of Europe. There was no such a thing. Even Eretz Yisrael, he says, they don't let us, they close the gates, they don't let any Yidden go in. And even one little place to save us, when the Yidden already started going back, they don't want to let us go on. Everything is closed, we're trapped, and the Goyim decided the time has come to destroy Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is locked up, and in the Noder of the Torah of the Navi says, it's calling us, B'koil Chazak in a strong coil. Hoi ki gadol hayoyim ahi. Eis Tzara Hili Yaakov Imena Yivashaya. Klal Yisrael, Klal Yisrael felt he's marach in this topic, this Russia. Why Klal Yisrael is so calm? There's a certain calmness. Where does the calmness come? He says that comes Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. Even in the biggest tzara, Klal Yisrael feels it's in their bones that we know and we believe and we feel, and Shama is feeling. Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. We're very positive. It says in the Navi, he brings out another Navi, Koyam Hashem Bayrachu Yaakov Yitzrech Yisrael. Your creator is Yaakov. This is what Hashem said. Bayrachu Yaakov, the one who created Yaakov, and the one who Yitzrech was Yitzer, also different expression of created the Klal Yisrael. Al Tira, don't worry, don't be scared, Kikalticha, because I will beguile you. And Zaktan, understanding what he wants to say is that why we saying that Eibishter created Yaakov, Boirer and Yotzer Klal Yisrael. What's going on over here? Because these Lashonis of the Eibishter created the Bria, Shemayim V'Oretz. And so, just like Hashem created Shemayim V'Oretz, Hashem created Klal Yisrael. And when the whole world wants to destroy Klal Yisrael, that's as if they want to destroy the world. The creation of the world and creation of Yisrael, Klal Yisrael go together because they are the point of the whole world. And when we're being down, the Ummahs are being down, when they're judging, should we let them be here or not? And they come to the conclusion this time has come to be destroyed. They actually came to the conclusion to destroy the world. But just like a person can't destroy a man, Ben Adam can't destroy the world, so too they can't destroy Klal Yisrael. Netzach Yisrael lo yishaker. Yes, he says, there's a bunch of stones on the way where our heart is hurting. But we have this shananis, this calmness, when we're samach b'tuach in Hashem. He says, where does this calmness come? From this point that it can't be destroyed. Just like the world is here, so too Klal Yisrael is here. Can't be a world without Klal Yisrael. And if there's Eis Tzara, according to the Eis Tzara is so too, that's how Klal Yisrael will be saved. He says, yes, on every person that's being killed, our heart is pouring his blood. But Klal Yisrael as a whole, we're calm, we're tuach, that we're going to have a Yeshua. And he goes on to say the famous words that Klal Yisrael, he speaks about Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, is the same thing, that Klal Yisrael and Kedushas Eretz Yisrael is connected, can't go through the whole drasha, you die to see it, unbelievable. He says the famous words that Klal Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, the Kedushas Yisrael is Netzach, and even though all the Frei people in the worst kibbutzim, the furthest places from Hashem, they will do tshuva. We have to start preparing boxes and cases of tefillin for all the people in kibbutz Ayin Chored and all the and its surroundings. All those people that were the most left, they will all end up doing tshuva to the Bnei Shalom. This is what he was speaking about over here in the meaning of Gudus Yisrael. I just want to tell you the psukim over here, and it says over here, what is the first thing the Navi states over here? I will break the yoke from on your shoulders. Meaning to say that the first outcome, we come to David Malko, we get to Klal doing being Ovid Hashem b'shleimus. But what's the first thing before that? The Navi says that Abish is going to take off the yoke of the nations from our back. This is what was the first Teitzah of the Galus was of the Second World War, was the direct first impact that it had on Klal Yisrael was the Eshber Eloi Ma'al Tzevarecha. The Abish is going to take the yoke off the nations, and that's what happened. And that was the first thing that happened. What am I trying to bring out? Because this idea of Klal Yisrael going away from under the yoke of the nations had a tremendous impact on Klal Yisrael, as we'll see right now. So, this foundational state, what it did was, the first thing it did was that it gave Klal Yisrael a healthy place to get together and build themselves up, a place to heal. And the Navi goes on over there, rather, it says, famous psukim, Koyom Hashem, Onish Shivlich Nachal Makosich. No one cares about you. Ain't done Namaza Refuis Tala Ein Loch. No one's healing you. Kol Mahavayach Shachaych Oichsach. All your loved ones, all people that pretended to be nice to you, forgot about you. Lo Yidrishi. They're not even looking after you. Kimakas Oiv Ikisich. They hit you with a makas. They hit you with someone they hate with hatred, and they were achzori on you. But the Rebbe says no one's trying to heal you. Aber ki ela arich I will I will heal you from all your from all your wounds, Ni'im Hashem, and I will return you all to Eretz Yisrael. Abisha says, I will return you over there. After it says, Abisha says, I will heal you from all your tzaras and bring you back to Eretz Yisrael. What does that mean? He will heal us. Klal Yisrael is in Golus for 1,500 years, 2,000 years, and it has a profound impact on Nashis. We forgot what it means to be a normal Am Hashem, a nation, a healthy nation. And the foundation of the state gives us a place to heal, a place to prepare us for Moshe Mashiach, a place to prepare us for Moshe Ben David, a place to build and get healthy. We'll call it a big hospital. And it's Kedai to say over here, Rabbi Yaakov Emden says in Sechtas Avos, V'achshav Giluseinu, now in our Golus, Batum Mimenu ha'oiz va'atzma, our strength and oiz and atzma, power and confidence and strongness, Nital Alev Amtzei, in the whole heart, is in the Oimetz Alev, everything was taken away. Ki hamakim goyin. Why? Because a place has a profound effect on a person. When a person is a Golus, he says a person is not in his place, he's not by himself, he's all lost. The Eret Meladzisai Shel Adam, a place where a person is born, Chazeres and Makn Loi Midas HaAziz, gives a person Midas HaAziz. And he says that's the trill over there, the Shibbonim Beis Mikdash, I think that's what is going on, that we should come back to Eretz Yisrael and get our ois, get our atzmas, we should be able to ask Kenemer, Gibber Kari. How do we get the ask Kenemer and Gibber Kari over there? He's talking about if we're in Eretz Yisrael, in our place where we belong, that has the skula to give us power and zund to be able to build ourselves. That's the idea of Khalsal Eretz Yisrael is getting back the oiz va'atzma, the midas azaz. Again, everything you can use is as panam l'gehenim, but it is as kenem giba kari. We have the opportunity to use it and build Moses to learn and do tzedakah and everything. Unbelievable what's going on. This is all a healing process that we're getting back we're coming back to ourselves. The Matche Gifter writes in a letter, we see b'chush ta'yidi, even a yiddish esrach mamkar. That any Yidden that even the Frei Yidden, you see they're always full of pachad and they're scared and the shav of rotzes. He says, but in Eretz Yisrael we see gevura ge'oin af ba'ila harachokim nemakar. He says a stam of Frei Yid is full of broken and is scared and pachad, but a Yid, even if people that are far from the Rebbeinu Shalom, in Eretz Yisrael, they have in themselves gevura, strength and ge'oin. Even if they're far from the Rebbeinu Shalom. And he said, this is Ein Zeis Elopnesh, this Skulas, Chlusa Shakdushas Ha'aretz, Mokim HaShabach Hashem. This comes from the school from Eretz Yisrael, the Kdushas Ha'aretz, Mokim HaShabach Hashem. And he says, the Hiskashus, the connection to Eretz Yisrael, even to those that don't understand it, give it a lot of miles. The Mechtav Yol writes, he says, we see a double pella in Eretz Yisrael, even people that are not Erlich, of Boiteach Anisim, that we could stand against all the thousands of Sainim. He says, even those that don't have, they're making mistakes in Deus, and they don't have Amunah, but they still have the Betuach and Nisim. He says, where does this come from? This comes from Birchas Ha'aretz, that strength, that Go'oin, that Gaiva, that Gaiva Shel Kedusha, that the Gevura, as Kenem of Giba Kari, against even all the Sainim, all that are surrounded, Yidden that are surrounded by this, they still the Betuachin from Kedushas Ha'aretz. Shlomo Volba writes the same thing, that even all the people that live in Israel, even the Parka El Mitzvahs, they have a Munah, Mukah, V'chazaka, Mekanas, Ben B'Lakay Yisrael, they have a strong Munah in the Rebbeinu Shalom, that he's not going to leave them go. And he says, because if not that, they would leave. It was not shaykh. Like the tochen akshonas kezois, it would not shaykh such betochen in Eretz Yisrael. But Eli Weintraub writes in Haskamata Sefer that we're living right now in a tkufa which Chazal call Ikvisim Mashiach. What does Ikvisim Mashiach mean? The footsteps of Mashiach. The footsteps he says is the end of the Galus, and is the place where the end of the Galus and the beginning of the Gula meet. That's the end. The end is the place where it touches. He says, and it's a revuvia. It's like Ben Hashemosha. It's like it's light and day, night and day mixed up together. He says, but this Omnam ha'isik b'shamayim l'tzi'eni m'shibet malchus. The Asik, what the Rebbeinu Shalom is Asik now, and to take us out from Shibud Malchus, is Machnes L'Tkufa Riksha Etzmois, brings us to a Tkufa of Riksha Etzmois, this Tkufa of Ba'ish Bar Oilis, Ma'ash Bi'ilam Al Tzeverecha. And Hashem is taking us out of the oil of the Goyim. It brings on us Riksha Etzmois, a Hageshim, Atzmius, from ourselves. It means to say that we actually feel we're coming back to ourselves. And he said, and he speaks about how this could be good and not good. There's azes, that's the Molek, that's the Tziyonim. But there's also the Tzadatoiv. Az Kanema Gibber Kari. It's in our hands to, when Eibishter is cutting the ropes, it's our hands to be mechaber it the right way. He says it's impossible to get away from the riksha atzmois, from the regesh of atzmois, of our, how do you say atzmois in English? Confidence. I'm not sure the exact wording, but that we're feeling like free people and we're not meshubah to anyone, and that's a sakana. But in the same second, it's a sakana. It's a major bracha, and our chiyuv is to be mechaber in the right way. So that is the first step of this. That the Eshber Ilam Al Tzaverecha, Hashem is giving us the opportunity to take ourselves in our hand, and the Gvura Ga'oin. The second point I want to point out is, we spoke about this already, the Maila of Kvod Yisrael that we get through Milchamas. Ashrecha Yisrael Michamoicha. Great you is Klal Yisrael, who is like you, Amnoshe B'Hashem, a nation which is helped, has Yeshuv from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Mogen Ezrecha Ashacherev Gavasecha, which the sword is your gaiva. V'kichasha V'echaloch V'albu Mesecha Sidrech. We said over Rabbi Mechai, Ki B'yois Yisrael Atzlocha Tminis. When you didn't have Atzlocha Tmidis, V'zgabris Otzim Al-Kolavim, there was Gaber on all their enemies. Hinezel Lahem L'moifis, this is for them a sign, Ki Him Dveikim and Noshim HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'olam Haba, that they are Davak in the Rebbeinu Shalom for always. And we remark this from all the Dodi Yisrael, that the idea of Shacher Gavasachel is a way that the Rebbeinu Shalom shows the difference between Galus and Geula, the way that he shows us Gilu Shechina, and the way that he brings up our covenant in the world, Shacher Gavasachel. And this anhaga started with the War of Independence. Like Eibishter made Nissim that we should have to be able to rasas a country for the Yidden. And Rabbi Yaakov and Ayman, the Shiva from Oy Yisrael, writes in the Sefer that after 6 million Yidden were killed, and it looked like Hashem Chas Shol forgot us, and he was mafker us to the Umas Olam. The Goyim wanted to, they stood upon us, they wanted to destroy us, and they didn't want to Shlo Yizach Hashem Yisrael. That's when Hashem made major Nissim in the floors Ada and Shir. And this Hayim is Kvod Yisrael between the Goyim. He says, whoever has brains in his head can see the Nissim that Eibush did for us. And this is how he showed us the Hashkracha and Ahava to us. And this we can understand that even though we went through such a horrific Second World War, still Hashem brought us, is doing everything for the best of us. And with this foundation of the state through the Milchamas, even though there was major tragedies then, Hashem brought up the covenant of Klal Yisrael. And another place he writes that now that we're getting closer to the Yom Yosef Mashiach, Hashem started showing us His love to us, and He started picking up to cover to the Bnei Shalom. The Shagar Feilman Lovich during those days, Tafshin Ches, when for a few months they were liberating should we be a foundation of the state, Jewish state or not. All those times he was davening for the Bnei Shalom that the Eibishter should be given in their hearts, they should let the foundation of the state. When that day came, he Bashal Shudis, he gave great shvach v'ador to praise Hashem for the foundation of the state. There were those that had tightness of him, and he got the haskama from Baron Kotler that he's right, that B'shas Maisa, that Hashem made the foundation of the state, all the nations were maskim, came out so from the haskama that there should be a foundation state is something that we have to have great hakaras hatov and haidov v'shvach for the Bnei Shalom. And he expressed himself from Shaka Feivel that he hoped that with this, as Hashem, the Klal Yisrael's covered will be brought up. This Klal Yisrael's cover, which Shalom Galus, which Mevuzah Ben Amim, we're going to get our land back, and through this will be our cover that will be brought up. This idea that our cover will be brought up, obviously, we're not talking about the covered, what Klal Yisrael's covered. This is still, we're far from that, what Klal Yisrael had in the first base of Mikdash. Even what Klal Yisrael had in times of Hashem. No, could be far. I don't know about that. Maybe we are more. I mean, actually, times of Hashem, not. That's when it was granted quite big. But before and after that, during the second base of Mikdash, I'm not sure if now is bigger or less. But definitely, we don't have the Mila of Klal Yisrael had in the first base of Mikdash, real covet. What we're talking about over here is that we're talking about this small country that, especially after the founding of the state, it was very small. It was like a third world country, but it gave Klal Yisrael a place to start healing, to feeling that we are something. We identify that Hashem is identifying us as His nation. We are a nation, not a nation among nations. Friday maybe was, and it gave them healing because of that. But it just it brought us the covet that's an ummah, it's self-dignity, as we said before, and yes, the gave us a certain amount of covet to start the processing of healing that the Navi says, and I'll heal you. That's the second point. So first point was that it gave us it gave us confidence, it gave us as keneba giba kari. And the second thing is it brought up our covet. It brought up our covet after being all the 2,000 years in Golis. Our covet went down in the earth, going from state to state to city to city. We don't know what it means. We take it for granted what we have, but we didn't have that until then. The third point, what is the Yaakov Kamenetsky pointed out a couple of times, that, and others pointed it out, Shaka Feivel Mendelovich pointed this out, he expressed this is another point, that with the founding of the state was a major Yeshua for Klal Yisrael from Hezbollah, from getting lost in between the nations. The Jews in America are, the Kirov movement, they call it a Holocaust. It's going on. A Holocaust. They are getting mixed in with the nations and they're disappearing. They are in emergency mode right now in all the Kirov organizations in America. Baruch Hashem and Eretz Yisrael, because of the founding of the state, they have a place which integration with other nations are very, very low. The intermarriage with other goyim, nebuch, it's taka, isn't a marriage, but it's not even close to those in the other parts of the world. That is only b'schus, that is a Medina that's bringing us back. It's a safe place. And the Yaakov Kamenetsky expressed himself that with the founding of the state, millions of Yidden were saved from being intermarriage and getting lost. And once he expressed himself that what's worse, someone marrying a goita or someone marrying a fry person marrying a yid? What's the problem? She's a nida. It's a chiv chorus. Marrying a goy is not a chiv chorus. It's not as chomer the einish as marrying a yid, and it's just that's a nida. And having children. So you ask a regular person, he'll say probably it's better for if a fry person comes to you, should I marry a Jew? I'll be over Isanidas, or should I marry a goy? And we should say to marry a goy, you save yourself a misurim shulchan aruch. No, because if you marry a goy, your children will be lost. You will not have a yidden. The chain will be chopped off, and it's definitely better to keep the chain going. Yes, you need to chiv kares. At least your children will have a chance to. You'll have Jewish children, and they'll be able to come. They'll be able to do tshuva. He expressed this thing in different ways. And Moshe Soloveitchik from Switzerland, the Enikel from Chaim, he expressed the same thing. Halach l'maisa, when they came to ask them, should they encourage Fry people to go up to Eretz Yisrael or not? And the problem was because if they go up to Eretz Yisrael, they'll probably over all the Surah marry. They'll marry a Fry lady, and they'll be over Sikaras and Nida. But they married with this. But Tzad because they're in Chutzlaret, they'll probably marry a goy. And he said, yes, let them go up to Eretz Yisrael and let them marry a yid, and hopefully the children will do tshuva. And Mr. Feigl said that this itself, and we see this now in Nebuch on October 7th, that this itself, that there's a Jewish state, gives the Yidden identity not only in Eretz Yisrael, in the whole world. We'll see, Yaakov Kanievsky says that's the reason, what gave the 6-Day War, that's what gave the Yidden in Russia their own identity, and brought them back to Yehadus after all those years. They identified with with the state of Israel, and that's what brought them back to Yiddishkeit. So the idea, the foundation of the state, started a healing process of Klal Yisrael returning to Hashem, giving them a safe zone. They should be able to build themselves a healing place. And like that, slowly but surely, as we'll see in the Hemshech of the Shurim, this is what gave us a moediga foundation to come back to Hashem. Yes, maybe it didn't start right away, but these were the blocks which started the binyan for the healing, for the tshuva process.